Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Nick and I'm interested in all things finance, creativity and reading, and today I wanted to talk a bit about the upcoming iPad Air Generation 4. So if you're interested in Apple and its products, you're probably well aware that Apple had an event in September where they announced new Apple Watches and a new iPad Air, which I think is the more interesting product over the Apple Watch. Now, Apple told us that the iPad Air would be available for purchase in October, and it's now October. However, when you head to the Apple website, you can see the full pricing, but you can't actually purchase anything yet. So when will the iPad actually be available for purchase? There's a number of rumors circulating the internet about how it seems likely that it will be the first half of October rather than the second half. And this information comes from websites like Tom's Guide and Mac Rumors, who are saying that marketing materials are already starting to land at Apple stores around the world, which usually is a sign of an imminent release of a new product. So we could actually be just days away from the release of the iPad Air 4. Whether or not we'll have to wait weeks for shipping is a question that still isn't that clear. Now that brings us to the latest benchmarks for the new iPad Airs. Now typically benchmarking isn't really done until after a product is released for obvious reasons, being that you can't really do a benchmark on a product that you can't actually buy. However, there have been people who've had access to the iPad Air 4s and have released some leaked benchmarks. Now the first of these leaks came about a week ago from a Twitter user who ran some Geekbench tests on the iPad Air 4 running iOS 14.0.1. Now if you're unaware, the new iPads have the new A14 Bionic chips, which is the latest chip put out by Apple, and the score that he tweeted was 1583 for single core and 4198 for multi-core use. Now for comparison, the previous generation of iPad Airs have A12 chips and a score of 1112 for single core and 2832 for multi-core, which means that the new iPads have 42% better performance in single core use and 48% better performance in multi-core use, which is a pretty significant jump. So I'd say likely if you have an older iPad Air, then upgrading to the newer one would probably be a very good idea. However, one of the big questions that people have been asking about the new iPad Airs is how will they compare to the iPad Pros? And since the new iPad Airs have a very similar design to the iPad Pros, people are wondering, will it even still be worth buying an iPad Pro unless you're wanting a bigger screen? So to answer this question, let's have a look at the Geekbench scores for the iPad Pros that are running the A12Z chips. So the score of the single core on the iPad Pros is 1119, which means that the Airs will be 41% faster on single core use. And then for multi-core use, the Pros have a score of 4564, which means the Airs perform about 10% slower than the Pros. However, it's really important to keep in mind that the Pro chips have 8 cores while the Air chips will have 6 cores. So they're actually fairly comparable performance in terms of the processing power. So in summary, it is actually looking like the iPad Airs are going to give the iPad Pros a bit of a run for their money, pun intended. Because if you look at the pricing on the Australian website, the base model Airs start at $899, while the base model Pros start at $1,329, so it's a jump of over $400 between the two models. So until the next gen iPad Pros come out, the iPad Airs might be looking like the way to go. But thanks so much for watching, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Will you be getting the iPad Air? Do you think it will be a better deal than the iPad Pro? Or do you still think that the iPad Pros have the edge? Don't forget to hit the like button, as it really helps me out, and subscribe if you want more videos like this. Other than that, I'll see you very soon in the next video.